Shoot. Some music. Caroline, Caroline. I know you don't think the door, but bone bang, but lean a little closer than the roses red. It smell like boo doo doo. Miss that band. One of my favorite bands, Outkast. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Very innovative. All right, so this is some responses to why I left Atlanta. Videos. You know, I have to do this every now and then because folk be tripping. People think that I have an angst for Atlanta or Southern people. It's like half my family comes from the South. They're still there. You know, so I don't have nothing against the ATL or the AT real. And the only reason why those videos, not necessarily mine, because there was plenty of videos like that up before. The only reason why they're getting a lot of attention is because of the mecca that is Atlanta has grown exponentially. There's a lot of government stuff going on there. There's a lot of, you know, tragic things going on there, like the AIDS epidemic, the bridges that were blown up, and then they blamed it on a homeless guy. It's just like a homeless guy did not blow that bridge up, people. Like, come on now. We know that was something and someone else. All right. So you have the homeless being fed, and the government or the police, you know, coming in and saying, hey, you can't feed these people without a contract or without a permit. And it's like, you can't feed the homeless anymore without a permit. They don't. Okay, here's one thing I understood about that video when I saw it. I understand that the city has codes, and you know, you have to abide by the city code or everything will fall apart. I get that. You know, you can't park here during a certain time because of traffic. I get that. You can't just roll your cart up and start feeding people. I get it. But the way they're doing it is not like they care about the homeless. The way they're doing it is they're just not going to eat. They have to find another way to eat. We want them to be homeless. Instead of going, this is the form that you need. Feed these people today, but clear out of here. Don't be here tomorrow without your piece of paper. This is how much it costs. This is how long it takes to get it. It's not a big deal, but you need to have one. Those officers are not doing that. See, the police are no longer upholding the laws. They're not police officers. They're not. They're not police officers. They're corporate goons. To serve and protect the people is no longer an interest. It's to serve and protect corporate interest. It's to constantly get money off of the people so they can fund their, you know, nationwide gang. It's the largest gang that there is the police department. And they'll tell you that. You know, one guy got into it with these cops in Denver and they beat him up, and it wasn't even his fault. And they told him, they said, do not mess with the largest gang in Denver. The police have openly said that they're a gang. So to serve and protect, and I swear that's out. That's out. They are corporate goons, and there's gonna be some anarchy over that because they're gunning down everyone. They're going after everyone. And, you know, they're going to step on the wrong people's toes. And those people are not going to sit down and take it. So, you know, you have some very upset people already pissed off at the government for not stepping in and handling these problems. And, you know, these people are, they're like, do something. Government, please step in and do something. And we saw plenty of examples of that. One within the last couple of years where the farmers up in, I believe, Denver went and took over a federal building. It was going on. They went and took over a federal building, and, you know, you had some fatalities out there. Look, that's going to be Look, it's going to get a lot worse than that. If the federal government does not step in and start helping these people out, they're going to, and I know they think that we're expendable, but, the police officers or the overseers, I can't even call them police anymore. They need to realize that you got families. When they start acting a fool and shutting down everything in the military comes in, they're not going to need you anymore. You're going to be in our shoes, and we're going to be looking at you like you were the one out there shooting and killing and robbing people and, raping daughters and stuff like that. The grand larceny and all this other stuff, taking people's money and, slaughtering children, little 4-year-olds being shot. This is really happening. The Gaines woman came in and shot her mother and then came in and shot the mom and then shot the child. He's 4 years old. Look, it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad because people see this. We see who you are. It's not like you can have to face. Even these SWAT teams that are, oh, nobody can see me. No. Listen, I tell the police all the time, look, if I was you, I would get out because you're being pitted against the people. And pretty soon you're going to be pitted against the military. And when they start coming in, listen, I don't care what weapons that you have in your little, that you're getting the money from us to fund your little armies. I was in the military. I'm going to tell you right now. Backblast area all clear. Whatever you think you have is going to be taken out in a millisecond. It's not even comparable. It's not even close. It's not. So I tell the police, man, if you're one of these, you're one of these good cops out here who's just trying to feed your family, you need to find another job before they close Kroger's and Walmart's and anarchy starts and all the people no longer want to listen to you. Atlanta's going to be one of those places where it's going to explode. I'm going to tell you why, because Atlanta is not New York. New York is used to things happening, even Boston. But Atlanta, it's different. It's just a whole different thing in Atlanta. It's just different. There are more African-American police there. And listen, as somebody being in the Army and standing next to deuce and a halves and looking at tanks and all those other things, there was no set of people who can come close to what the U.S. military has. That's why they talk so much stuff to Russia, because they're just like, we will beat you into next. That's what the general told them, and that's true. But I'm telling you, police officers, especially if you live in places like Atlanta, find yourself another job, because you're being pitted against the people. You are. But you live in the same neighborhoods as those people that you're being pitted against. And they're doing that on purpose. And when the lights go out and the power goes out, the police officers, like, we know your faces. Like we see you on, World Star and all that. We see you. My best advice to a police officer, if you don't want to quit your job because they pay good, be a good cop and be in front of the people. Like what they're doing in Atlanta with the homeless, don't be like those police. Don't go down there and you can't feed don't do that. Just say, listen, this is how you get a permit. This, you know what I'm saying? Help them get a permit. Hand out some sandwiches yourself. Be that cop. That's who you need to be. Like, help them do that. Do not go and just arbitrarily ticket people. I'm telling you, be the good cop. Like, make sure people know you're that dude or you're that woman. You know what I'm saying? Make sure people, when they see you, they're just like, that's a good cop right there. That person is doing their job. Because if you don't, and you're the opposite of that, when everything falls down, nobody's going to respect you. And you want them to. It's not about how many bullets that you have. It's about how many bodies that are around you. And you don't want to be outnumbered. You don't want to be against the people. You want to be for the people. And if you can't do that, get out. Find something else to do. Because Atlanta, when, like I said, when it all goes down, Atlanta is going to be one of those places where it's just going to be a mess. And it already is. It already is, but it's going to be a horrible mess when things get out of control. Because there's so many people going there. And it's a beautiful city. But there's so many people migrating there that if it does get out of control, it'll be all the way out of control. And like I said, I only lived there for a year. But during that year, I noticed, for one, there's so many groups of people that live there. And they all have their space, which is so dope. So dope to just, drive down an avenue and that's all like their ave. It's all their people doing their thing. Ain't harming nobody. That's all them. Then you can go over here and do the same thing. You can hang out with the Greeks. You can hang out with the, Jews and the Jewish and the, especially the Hispanics. You can, the Africans and, people from the Haitians and, the Caucasians and, of course, the African Americans and all other sets. That's pretty dope. You can go from one place to another, usually right next door to each other, and just eat different foods. And the culture in Atlanta is beautiful. It's beautiful. But the economics is not holding up to the number of people that are pouring into the ATL. That's the problem. That's the problem. To me, from what I've seen and what I know now, sustainability is a big, big, big issue. And this is one reason why they're treating the homeless like this. This is another reason why there's so many people homeless. See, the city I live in doesn't have a large homeless issue. You know why? Because there's a lot of jobs here. And the city is not that big compared to, Atlanta. It's just not. You got a lot of people coming here, but it's nowhere. It doesn't have the industry that the ATL has. So when you're looking at sports teams, basketball, football, and all that, we don't have that here. We don't have those big teams, so you don't have all that revenue coming in, and then everything that trickles down from that revenue. So it's different. You know what I mean? So our homeless problem is usually there. We do have a homeless problem every year during the winter. There's people who used to go down to the 3rd Street Bridge, and you could find some bodies down there. People who just, they froze to death literally up under the bridge. Now they've changed a lot of that because so many people complained about. There's people dying. There's a couple different homeless shelters. They're not bad either, and so they're really trying to help people. They're really trying to help veterans. So there's that. When you go to a city that's 4 times the size of the city that I live in, probably even bigger than that. When you go to a city like the ATL, that changes. You don't have the housing for the amount of homeless. And then you don't have the manpower pretty much to keep them straight from, doing whatever. The one thing about homeless is just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're out robbing people. That's not what homeless people really do. They don't homeless and then they try to knock down your door. That's not what happens. A lot of them choose to be homeless. Some of them just bad luck. I got a friend right now. He lives with his mom. He couldn't pay his rent. He had to go back and live with his mom. He hates it. He's almost in his 40s, but his mom's there. You have situations like that. I used to work with the homeless here. You got guys who are sleeping out on the carpet where the church is, and you know what? They think it's the best thing in the doggone free country. I've been homeless before. They're just like, oh man, I found a spot. There's a rug right outside where the church is. Man, I just curled up back there and I get it in. He found a rug, so he thought that was the best thing in the world. Right now, that guy makes plenty of money because he got himself together. He needed to get back his truck driver's license, found himself a woman, and she helped him out. He's good. Great guy. So, but see that it's different when you have a large metropolitan city that's so spread out like the ATL. It's just different. So the video that I saw, it really concerned me. The way that they were being treated as if they committed a crime. Even the people who were feeding them. They committed a crime. You committed an infraction. And some of them unbeknownst to them. Some of the people were pulling up just handing out food outside of their car. It's an infraction. They're like, what is it an infraction to give somebody a sandwich? What penal code is this that says I cannot give this person who is obviously hungry a sandwich? Like, what is it? What law says I can't do this? Because that's what they did. They came and said it's pretty much against the law. You can't do this. It's like, I can't give a fellow man, woman, a ham sandwich that I made. I can't do this. So I guess they're afraid that the homeless are going to stay in that area and they're trying to clear out that park area. But I'm going to tell you something, Atlanta. Your homeless problem is going to skyrocket. Not only that, whenever you have a large group of people who not necessarily have extrinsic health issues, but nonetheless, the issues that they have, they all are around each other constantly. You see how fast a common cold can spread from one person to another in your household. Well, although AIDS does not go through the air, it's not airborne, you still have people they're not old. It's not like the homeless population is a bunch of 60, 70-year-olds, or people who are not sexually active. You got people who are homeless 19, 20. They're young. They're still going to procreate. It's just going to happen. And, when they're not procreating with just one person, you have the chance of an epidemic. And that's what's happening right now in the ATL. The AIDS population is on a third world level. And this is not just me talking. You guys can look it up. There are doctors who actually took statistics and found out where a lot of these people were coming from. And it's right there in the heart of Atlanta. So the police trying to keep people outside, like from downtown or away from the parks and stuff. That's not what they need to be doing. And I get it, break these people up. No, you need to find somewhere for these people to go. You just can't come down and bully these people and say, hey, get lost. What do you think they're going to do? The world is going to cry when it's against the law. And this is very true. Very true. It's like, where do you want me to go? My friends are here. They're homeless. There's people who come down and feed me. I'm hungry. It's cold outside. We build our little shelters here. And like, where do you want me to go? Because the basic needs are here. And when you try to say, well, when you try to stop people from feeding people, you're taking away a basic need. You think that because the food's going to go away, they're going to go away. No, they're going to get more creative because that's what human beings do. They're going to get more creative and they're going to keep their eye on you. They're going to start working around you. You got the people who are feeding the homeless and, trying to help them. And then you got the homeless. You got two different sects that you're trying to keep your eyes on. They're going to work around you. And all the while, this epidemic that's happening in the ATL is going to keep happening. And then it's going to spread. It's already spreading. And it's going to touch down in one of your houses. One of you people who are popular, or one of you, or some of you police officers who are actually not aware of what's going on because you don't really want to be. You just want to collect your check. And next thing you know, your 17, 18-year-old son or daughter is going to have a heavy cough one day and it's not going to go away. What's wrong with you? You're going to go to the doctor. You're going to find out that they have artificial immune disease. Because they were hanging around, met somebody, group of people, did what young people do. It's going to touch down in your house, not in your neighborhood. Why at the dinner table? You're going to be looking across from somebody who's been affected by your negligence. Instead of getting these people help, you just wanted to sweep them away like they were dust up under a rug. It just doesn't work like that. I feel sorry for the good officers out there who are putting it in position, but for the assholes out there, I don't feel sorry for you. You need a wake-up call. A lot of time, wake-up call, it is non-violent, but it is life-changing. You don't need somebody to, tussle with you or do something physically to your, persons or anything. Nobody's interested in that. But when you're watching a loved one, one of your seeds dying over something that you could have helped, that's a whole different type of hurt. You can't put a Band-Aid over that. You can't take a shot and it's fixed. No, you have to see this and you have to take care of this person. See, they're being pushed by corporate goons. By corporations. They're the hand of the corporation. They do the dirty work of these corporations. This is why you see people getting thrown in jail or going down to central booking for. One guy went down there because there was some leaves on his window, and an officer stopped him and said, well, these, get out of the car, you're going to jail because of these leaves. He's like, I don't even know what that is. I must have drove past the bush, which people do all the time. They arrested him. It's out of hand. So you have these officers trying to keep these numbers up of keep funneling people into these jails, but the barrel is going to break. The bow's going to break on that. It's going to break. It's starting already. You got people who are being released from prison who've been there for 10, 20 years on crimes that they didn't do. And those guys are old. They're not going to come out and start fighting. They're not going to look for the DTs who put them in. They're not doing that. They're just happy to be home where they can get a real meal, where they can see their loved ones. But they're children. They know who you are. These babies out here, they know. You're the one that put my father or my grandfather in jail. And these lawyers, these crooked lawyers, they know who they are. They know. You're building a whole system that's angry at the system. You're building a whole resistance. and then stopping homeless from, you're stopping me from, you're a police officer. I can understand if you say you can't do this here. However, you can do this over here. If they gave them some direction, put some signs up and says, please don't feed the homeless here. You can feed the homeless there. And some people say, oh, feed them at the shelter. Do you know how big Atlanta is? These people going to trek all the way to the shelter? It's not going to happen. It's just not. It's not going to happen. Okay? So, they need to make some kind of something to help these people, the good people, feed them, and the good people who need fed get fed, and be able to disperse that crowd peacefully without the police officers having to, be assholes and, hard on these people, and gain the trust and the love of these people again, instead of coming down and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right. There you go. So their mission should be, they can see this problem, and they should be like, we got to fix this. Even if it's two of them. Not that we need to go speak to the mayor. No, don't go speak to the mayor. The mayor has mayoral things to do. But you have a route. There's a good chance that it's going to go past here, and you're going to see people violating the law by not having a permit. You're going to see this. It's not going to stop because you showed up. So what you need to do is find a way that this can happen, and it is with the law instead of against the law, because you are a representative of the law. See, that's the thing. The people, you got to understand, the homeless people and the people who are feeding them, they may or may not know. There's a good chance that they know, because you've been coming down there all the time. They may or may not know about the permit. So you come down there, you say you need a permit, and then you remove everything. I don't think you should do that. I think you should go down and say, you need a permit, feed these people for the next hour, and then you need to leave. That's it. Feed them, you need to leave. Don't come back here tomorrow without a permit. This is how you get your permit. This is how much it costs. This is how long it takes. This is who you go through. Here's all the information that you need right here. Please get your permit. Please. And that's it. But it's the area that they don't want them coming to. So they need to instruct them and say, for one, you need a permit. For two, if you're going to do this, you need to do this over on this street. This is where this needs to happen. But they're not going to do that either, because you're going to have a whole bunch of people migrate to the area. They just don't want them to do that. But they have to remember, when these people hear that I can't feed these people, and these other people going, I can't eat, they're looking at you. They know there's a mayor. They know there's a city council. They know that there's a governor. They know all of that stuff. But you're the asshole I'm blaming it on. They're looking at you because you're the enforcer. While everybody else, the mayor and, the council people are eating tabbouleh salad in the, in their gated community somewhere, you're the guy with the gun and the badge and the, spraying mace on people who are just hungry. You're that guy. So when it hits the shin, they're looking at you. They don't care about the mayor, because half of them ain't going to be able to talk to him anyway. The mayor's a politician. He'll say whatever it is that needs to be said, he or she. State representatives, too. They all say the same thing. I used to work for them. They say one thing, and they're just like, they'll kiss your kids and then wipe their hands off as if your kid was sick. I mean, they don't. They love their money. They love their power. I'm the mayor. You should respect me. I respect you when you feed me. I don't care. I'm the mayor. You should. Now we had, one of the mayors that used to be mayor. He was a cool dude. He was always amongst us. Always. He would come to our parties. You know what I'm saying? He was always there. He had himself a fine woman. She was always cool. You know, we just loved him. He's the mayor for the longest time. He's not the mayor anymore. He's just a great guy, and every time we see him, it's just like, hey, it's the mayor. Even though he hasn't been mayor for years now, hey, it's the mayor. Because we loved him. But you have some governors who are here. We know that, who you are, but we also know what you did. You stole $20 million from us. We lost thousands of jobs because of you. We know some of these governors, crooked-ass governors here. Like, we know you're the one who took all the money, and the judge gave you like a day of probation, and you walked away with $20 million of the people's money, of hardworking, everyday people's money. State workers lost their jobs. State, city, and county workers lost their jobs in one fell swoop. Like one day, bang, half the floor gone. I saw my job. I saw my ex-boss, and I jumped in the cab, and there he was. He was driving a cab. See, we remember. The people remember. Our children learn who's good and who's not. This is why it's pertinent for those who are in those positions to be of the people and for the people. If you can't do that, then get out. Leave the job that you have. Find another one. If you can't be a good, honest, of the people person that this job really calls for you to be, then you need to get out of there, because we remember you. We know who you are. If the system breaks, you're in trouble. We're not going to help you because you were hurting us. You were giving us arbitrary tickets for nothing. You were stealing our vehicles and stripping them down once they got into the, into the police pound. You were charging us $100 a day, putting us in jail for nothing, and we have to sit there for 7 days. Come out, we can't get our vehicle. When we finally do, it cost us $800. Then the vehicle's trashed. You did this to us. Now we have no vehicle. We could lose our job. You did this. Now we're paying Uber to go to work. That costs a fortune. We're hungry. Our kids are hungry. We can't feed them because of this whole trickle-down system that you put us into just because you were trying to reach a quota. You did this to me. My little girl hungry every day, and I gotta give her a half a slice of bread. Don't act like it doesn't happen. It does. I used to be one of those people. I live on a fixed income. I can't eat whenever I want to. I eat when I have to. I just can't. I have food in the refrigerator, but I know that food has to last me until I get my next bit of, cash or whatever it is. That's how I live. And there are people who live worse than that. And I used to live worse than that. I would go and break over my little piggy bank and dig it. Here's my piggy bank. It's got a lot of other stuff in it too. But I would, during emergencies, and I would run completely out of money. I'd be like, how much money I was living off of this. How much money do I got in here? Barely paid the rent. You did this to me. You took away my vehicle. You took away my job. You had my car towed, and I still had time. You put a boot on my car. You took away my driver's license for nothing. You, judge, you did this to me. You sat up there and act like, you were king of the freak. I remember you. You put me in jail, knowing damn well that I was innocent. You did this to me. We remember. Be the good lawkeeper, lawmaker, or don't do it at all.